Marshall's TV's #1 news show. Marshall's a new era of Yellowstone. New episode tonight on CBS. Good to have you with CBS crew, Spirit Leadership, Stenarva, John Rothstein, producer Bill Fair, director Mike Arnold, rest of our CBS crew. What has been a thrilling couple of days here in St. Louis.
Iowa State started the other night, 14 of 20 from the floor. Today, 3 of 13. Total difference to the way that game was played by the competition. Just different right now, too.
Gibbs even. Got the steal, collects to the basket. Great play by one of the all-time Cyclones.
Already with the chip release pass to Spirit to get an easy bucket and get some of their fans involved in this game.
Chandler Hobbit on the perimeter. Jarvis is defended by Clayton.
Keep looking for the backdoor cuts along the baseline.
All places is underneath third figure.
And also working to position themselves in their offensive sets, and it is paying.
I mean, not bad.
Sheila gets fouled on a three-point attempt.
So you guys are just like State Farm, right?
Stop living on a prayer, get State Farm.
You might be tempted to let Taco Bell's new Let's Value menu go ahead. Because 10 indulgences for $3 or less makes you feel fancy.
That's why my kids ain't in school. I know you saw this. You see the
Or
story?
you don't. Just use the ones that
Little
come with
boy
Don't
went,
let
I
Lux
guess,
go to your
went up to the bus driver, grabbed the bus driver's butt, and so she yelled at the boy, basically, you know, talking. He a little kid, about Bella age or whatever. The mama got mad that she said something to her son. Went up to the bus driver, hit the bus, like punched the bus driver in the face, and the bus driver basically whooped her butt. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what you mean?
Badass
My
kid.
kids can go to school. I mean, you can see him in the top pick. He a little kid. You know better. But the mama didn't like that. Said something sideways too. Punched her. Anyways, the bus driver lost her job for that. Bad kids. This generation is going. Ooh, these the people that's gonna run the world. Y'all got to fix that.
Business owner takes hard work and a whole lot of miles. So
There was another one. Was that teacher in Detroit when the kids was fighting and the policy says if the kids are fighting, don't break it up? Did you see that one?
No.
It was two females was in a fight, two students was in a fight. The teacher was in the back, and I guess she wasn't doing nothing because it tells her not to do it.
Yeah.
If somebody else, some other kids was trying to go and break it up, and you can hear her in the video saying, no, just let them fight because she didn't want them to get hurt. Anyways, that got out. She lost her job.
Why if we wouldn't break it up?
Or that can finally sit
Even
down.
them kids these days probably take nothing.
It's just better. That, Modelo, is the mark of a fighter.
I mean, even when I was at work,
If these were Southwest Wheels, they
fight break out, you gonna lose your job. Well, she lost her job for saying let them fight, like she wasn't protecting the kids.
No, I think
School's
it.
finna shut down already.
I think it's more so public school. I don't know shit about that private school. That's the only thing I would only consider private school, but when they at least high school. But
High school doesn't work.
so you know, you go to a nicer school, especially though they playing sports. They gotta do some high school sports.
TJ Otzelberger, sleep deprived.
On the court
what a program he's built in Ames. We asked him about the devastating injury for Jefferson. See the times that he can't
Kentucky and Iowa State. Damn, Iowa State number 2. Kentucky number 7.
He's smart enough to know how to figure out how to make some in-game decisions and adjustments. It's rather so cultural thing, the understanding of what they're trying to do, and he will make those in-game adjustments.
Iowa State after 9, and we get an illegal pick on Moreno.
Is that going to be called a pick defense or a block?
Sure felt like a little yes, Eve.
That one over here. That opens up a little bit of a door right now for Iowa State to get some rhythm at the offensive end.
This is play to the young man. Gets some contact, and he's going to shoot free throws.
Yeah, you can tell with the player the way he leans, Spiro, whether he thinks he's going to get to the line, and he hesitated just a little bit. And watch him come back this way, just a touch. See how he slides in there? He knows he has position. He's small going in there versus the taller 2 guys on a Kentucky team, and he figures out a way at 6'1" to get to the line. Smart play.
I don't know why I'm doing this, but I'm going to leave Iowa State with that.
Career, young man, grew up in the shadows of the Iowa State campus. There's a long list of Ames high school legends. Harrison Barnes, Doug McDermott, was Fred Hoiberg. The all-time program. Jefferson, a star teammate. Pressure on his own shoulders.
Excruciating for Jeff. There's that back door.
Lost a handle, they get it to Chandler, corner 3, Christie. Lipsy trying to press the issue, and we're going to get contact underneath, and they get Jasper Johnson. And that's just a veteran play by Lipsy, forcing the official to blow the whistle. Oh, when it comes to sports, you can never have enough. At every highlight, HQ streaming free 24/7.
You touched on his spirit, his ability as an experienced player. High percentage of the time on a break, if he's got you one-on-one, he's going to figure out a way to make you make a mistake and then finish it off.
Brady settled with the foul issues in round 1 against Tennessee State. They didn't need it much. They won the game by 30-plus points. As T.J. Otzelberger said, there haven't been too many times where Taylor Lipsy has had off games in succession.
Well, he's so confident in that kid. He's just giving him a couple of breaks here and there.
What somebody said that threw me off the other day, they said when I was growing up, the dollar sign had 2 lines to it. I didn't realize they lost the line. It lost the line. When we was growing up, the dollar sign had 2 lines going through it. Now it's just 1.
I didn't know that.
I didn't either until somebody said that.
It was a good shot. Good fucking shot. Will Michigan State or Michigan come on today?
If they ask, the living room is included. This is included in the living room.
Alright. Who all play today?
Here it is, little step back. I got the sides. Now you're done.
Okay, so we got the Kentucky and Iowa State, St. John's and Kansas. I ain't gonna lie, I'm going for St. John's to beat Kansas. Tennessee versus Virginia. Florida. Florida might go back again. Shit. Florida to Iowa.
Adults with obesity lose
Got the
weight and keep it up.
Arizona,
Watch this.
Utah State.
People taking it lost up to 48
Some
pounds.
good games today. Good game.
In the study,
What up, though?
people using Zepbound lost an average of 50 pounds compared to an average of 33 pounds with the Wegovy injection.
Watch this.
Don't share needles or pens or reuse it. Don't take if allergic to it or if you or someone in your family had MTC or MEN2. Tell your doctor if you get a lump or swelling in your neck. Stop Zepbound and call your doctor if you have severe stomach pain or a serious allergic reaction. Severe side effects may include inflamed pancreas or gallbladder problems. Tell your doctor if you experience vision changes, depression, or suicidal thoughts before scheduled procedures with anesthesia. If you're nursing, pregnant, plan to be, or taking birth control pills. Taking Zepbound with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar. Side effects include nausea, diarrhea, and vomiting, which can cause dehydration and worsen kidney problems. Ask your doctor about Zepbound. Watch this.
So yes or no? Is there anyone you like?
Like anyone here.
Oh my gosh. Let's do home court explore.
Yes, helps you shop, quote, and buy the right cover team, even if it's not with us.
What do you think of this option?
You look so good together.
Don't hate me. I just told them that you're interested.
You did not.
Oh, I know. Let's prank call each other.
That's not how that works, Jamie.
This is a can of Valspar Ultra for $29.98. It's also an admission that,
Go on.
okay, maybe it was just a phase.
Yeah.
Valspar, affordable, available at Lowe's.
$10 for a large. $10 for any 3 toppings. $10 for your choice of hot crust. Like our new garlic parm hand toss. Because there's crust, and then there's hot crust. The crust you crave will be $10. Order in the Pizza Hut app.
Look at our game somewhere here in St. Louis, just past the midway point of the first half. And some people have cats. Broke that early lead, but here come the Cyclones now. 2-point game. 9 straight points. Kentucky just 4 points in the last 4 minutes.
4 for 8 from the 3-point line. Early on, they hit some skill, but that free throw line is not a factor for them. No free throw attempts yet. They're going to start pushing this thing towards the middle of the floor, towards the basket, try to get some of those freebies.
If you just joined us, Kentucky jumped out to a 12-point lead and had complete control.
It's very unfortunate, but y'all about to be so rich.
Oh, yeah. $5. Damn.
No, you can't put diesel in regular cars. You're gonna mess up the whole.
Yeah.
Everybody getting a brand new car.
But now with this war and shit about to go high, so I ain't even. Yeah. Gotta go crazy.
So Owe, Jim, who's been quiet till this point, 2 points. He's only taken 2 shots. That's how they're going to draw contact.
Knee here, if you look closely. Right across there, because he came out. He was a little bit hot, but not much. Right. Yeah, I think it was. Maybe, not maybe, but definitely 2 points.
After he hit those 2 threes, what the official's going to say, hold on Chandler. Appeared to be an Iowa State turnover on the break for TJ Otzelberger Cyclones.
TJ Otzelberger is just, I think he's comfortable in the last 3 minutes of this game. There's a reason he doesn't catch the ball. See that hook by Chandler on the right hand in particular, right arm.
Dempsey and more free throws coming up.
watch what he's looking at here, Spiro, because watch where the ball goes. You see that ball tucks a little bit behind him? That's to get the momentum of the body in the contact right there, and then you try to make the shot. But you initially want to make sure you're getting body on body, because the worst thing you want out of that drive as a smaller guard against the big guys is to get to the free throw line. If you make the bucket, that's even better.
Looks like the athletic trainer has been summoned for Kentucky to
Oh, shit.
blood on the back. Iowa State lead time for 10th and 11th free throw attempts of that game. Kentucky hasn't shot any till this season.
Oh, shit. If you ain't sneezing, it ain't season. Fuck. Bitch. Tickle my nose. God damn. God damn. Shit.
That's my bad. We all just switched to AT&T to get the unlimited plan for just $25 each. Now we're on the hunt for more deals.
Save together, stay together. You get it?
Got 'em. Game-worn Patrick Ewing shorts.
Wow, that's a lot of thought.
They're super short.
Learn how to get AT&T Unlimited starting at $25 a month per line for 4 lines. Plus switch and we'll pay off your phone balance up to $800 per line.
In business mode, Hank asked Copilot in Excel how to help bring back the $1 slice. Suddenly, Hank says, you gotta try this place kind of thing.
All right, thank you.
Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheet.
Yo, who got that? The most epic dunker at Wendy's this March Madness. Order from the Dunks menu in the app for your chance to win.
Geico helps tailor your coverage to fit your business and bottom line. So, Greg, how good does it feel to save on your commercial auto insurance with Geico?
As good as having a great hammer.
You can't touch this. Hammer time. Break it down.
Just put it up.
It feels good to get your savings on. It's very helpful. It feels good to Geico. People do anything to make that bill come. Try Viral Max. Use outdoor features. That's why the Coors Light mouth is turning. Because people do just like
Correct degree, new degree clinical 5X, the strongest degree ever.
Memories. It's like a movie. We can revisit all those times we did have.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Wendy's. Wendy's has the official dunks of March Madness. New degree clinical 5X. And by Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly.
Mark, what was your message to your team when you called that timeout a couple minutes ago?
So we're okay. We started the game great. We got a little flustered.
What's up? What's up? What up, though?
We protect this ball and make aggressive plays downhill and get to a second and third side. When we do that, we're really good. Okay.
Mark Pope trying to take his alma mater to the Sweet 16 for a second straight.
Marquette Myron, I knew it was always going to clash and it was never going to work. And when I did see of it, I always knew it was fake. It was unbelievable to me. Like, nah, I knew that.
When you think back to that game that they had against St. John's, one of the few games where they had their how good they
7 points on those 8 turnovers because you just showed there were 7 of them were unforced, which means you can go down the floor in a hurry on most of those.
David Lipsy gets it on the reset. Goes back to the goal. Bateman is going to place it. Deep shot. Lipsy trying to save. And the last touch by the Cyclones. We get a foul here. I think we will. Loose ball foul against Iowa State. Lipsy going there for one son on his body. Iowa State now, Jimmy, is 0 for 9 from the 3-point line so far.
But that's why those 8 for 11 free throws matter.
This is when the hood vlog.
They get off track from the outside.
Oh, good shot. Oh, gotta make it.
Well short. So Kentucky now 4 of 10 from the 3-point line.
One of their better sets in the last 3 minutes. Spiro in terms of the way they ran that back toward the middle of the floor and then kicked it out to the left.
One thing to keep in mind, all the years he was tonight, but a bit of a quiet start in that first half as well against us. Only had 7 points at the half before he went off for 28 after the intermission. She looking back on the floor for TJ Otzelberger as we hit the 7-minute mark. Torrey squares up.
He wanted to go back from that angle. 8 for 12 for 4 in the first game against Tennessee State.
Kentucky and Iowa State in a fight for a trip to the Sweet 16. The officials are going to say reach-in foul here. A little bit overly aggressive with the defense on Yelovich. Keep your eye on that hand of Holloway. A little bit of a flex. Yeah.
Listen, I need you to stop for a second because it.
That'll have an impact on his shooting, obviously.
So something to keep tabs on. By the way, that last foul was against Torrey, his second. Clayton sits Buchanan in. It's interesting to see how Otzelberger divvies up those Jefferson minutes.
I think he'll search and work his way through the first half, and then the guy who's playing, or 2 guys who played better in the second half to get more of those minutes.
Yelovich outside to Chandler. Garrison shot clock at 3, skips Everdeen. That's a tough shot deep in the shot clock.
Good work by Bateman coming down, finding a way to get to that rebound from outside.
Both teams are out of fouls as we come up on 6 minutes left in the half. Lipsy leads Buchanan. Yelovich.
Good block. God.
What a defensive recovery by Yelovich in time.
I think Buchanan thought he had a layup just then, and it was smothered in a hurry from the weak side.
Sophomore big from Zagreb, Croatia. Yelovich looking for some help. Into the circle. Chandler.
Set here, isn't it?
Point to shoot. Everdeen has the fire.
Iowa State is clamping down right now. They're not scoring either.
Well, this is very defensive slugfest the last couple of weeks. There is a lid on that three-point basket. They're all of 11 from distance.
Mark puts his hand up to tell his guys to slow it down just a little bit. Let's make sure we get something good here. Great team defense, too, helping one another out. Iowa State.
Away. Shows it. Buries it from deep.
Good shoot.
Also doesn't seem like he's flexing it right now.
I think this might be a bad matchup for Iowa State. Good shot. Good fucking shot.
Came off the screen, wasn't wide open, just enough to flick it. Finally doesn't go off the floor all that much with his jumper. That makes it even faster.
Yelovich tries that time. Well short.
play straight up. They needed that to go down to get him into the flow of offense. And here he comes off that screen. Chandler right there where he's supposed to be, trailing it as best as possible, but just a little late. Chilovich drops it.
Nicely done. Everyone wondered what would Iowa State look like without Joshua Jefferson. They were fighting. Kentucky favorite. Diabate was there. Moreno. They won it. Somehow saves to Williams.
Good shot. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I'm not so sure how he got that before his foot came down out of bounds. But the thought process, too, to save it and kick it at the same time in motion.
Kentucky fans raising the volume here in St. Louis. Lips. A bit of a flip, no. Offensive rebound, Buchanan.
Also a flip there.
Baby's gonna pull it. 24 weeks out, Diabate's got it. He's been a beast.
And Richard was thinking he was being held on the right side of Diabate.
5-point Kentucky lead, 3:13 remaining in regulation. Four teams out of bounds. Get it away, but he missed it somehow. Maybe he was surprised he had that much space. You go, Chilovich, expecting contact. Here comes our way, forcing the issue.
Might be a tie-up.
What are they going to say? They're going to say contact. Or no, they say jump. A possession error will give it to Kentucky, so the Wildcats will retain. And it's getting wild here in St. Louis. Big stroke from Williams. High intensity.
Big stroke is crazy.
Did you know the Walmart app has over 500 million items? He knew. New patio.
Damn, he might not be done for a minute.
And knowing is a beautiful thing.
It's raw
The
stuff.
Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
The 3 for Me only at Chili's serves up the big QP for just $10.99.
You gotta turn up the heat.
And more beef than some quarter-pound burger. Yeah. Hey, fast food. This is how you value me. This Chili's 3 for Me is the best $10.99 you can eat. With Expedia.
Might as well roll up again. It's gonna be a minute. Chicken gonna be a minute. I thought those already cooked. They uncooked.
So smooth. Yes, it is.
Thought they were cooling off on the sidelines? Well, they're just
Surprise! DirecTV got hot. Hey, you know, I played in high school. Really? Well, I went to high school. I didn't go to high school.
Anyway, it's never been easier to keep up with your favorite.
Look at that.
Can I be some Pathfinder Google?
Not that you would, but you could. The new V6-powered Nissan Pathfinder. Nissan, #1 in new vehicle quality.
Checking in on game day rituals presented by Marriott Bonvoy. Iowa State's Mila Momcilovic shooting ritual is to say the word jelly bean entirely to himself. For shot attempts, he started doing it after visiting with a sports psychologist to help sharpen his mindset as an athlete. He's currently shooting 49.4%, which is on pace, well on pace
potatoes all the time.
You did okay for yourself.
Look at the swipe down right there. Good call from the officials along the sideline. Both of them had it right.
9th Kentucky turnover. And 3-point struggles for the Cyclones that they're trying to fight their way through. IZ reset Lexi. Deflected. Diabate. Making it happen. Or then it was Kent.
Frustration when they were off his foot.
Kip Kissinger with the length to his fuse. Nicely done. This will come up on the 2 minutes before halftime. Diabate into the corner. Wildcat Station lead in that. Moreno, and they're going to get Buchanan.
Another good set.
Coming up, AT&T at the half. Get all the scores and highlights, plus the latest NCAA tournament news. It's all to come on AT&T at the half. So 2:07 left. 5-point Kentucky Legion. Biggest takeaways for you so far in the first half?
I think a little bit of it is how Kentucky started first 5 minutes, and then they kind of faded for an 8 or 10 minute mark, and now they seem to be getting better under control for Mark Pope and running their sets. So it's been up and down, but pretty consistent. I think Iowa State is really just, I'm not so sure still it's missing Jefferson as much as they're just not getting into the rhythm for their shots. 1 of 14 from the 3 points.
God damn, coughing my lungs off.
First game that Joshua Jefferson has missed in his 2 years in Ames with this program. Marchilovic, 6 this year.
Every single touch of the ball.
Marchilovic has Moreno unable to squeeze in Marchilovic. He'll fire. 10 points. And another unforced turnover for the Wildcats.
Because if he did not step out of bounds just then, and here's the confidence. He's like within an inch of hitting that stride on the outside, going out of bounds. And then the other end, they would have gotten a dunk on that play if not for stepping out of bounds with Williams. If they're in trouble, so just trying to get perimeter shots here. They may have to just catch and go. Not even catch and think, but catch and go.
TJ Otzelberger who said, can we be a good enough team to figure out a way to win on nights where we're not shooting the basketball well? Plays out, beautiful backdoor cut, high Z, free throws.
Well, to that point, they're 2 of 15 from the 3-point stripe, so this is one of those afternoons where they may just have to figure that out on the fly.
Otzelberger and his staff. Slinger Big Bill. He said it's been a good focal point for me and my assistants over the years. You know, so those games when it's all working for you, it's easy. When guys are hitting threes, they can line it up as good as any team in the country, but it's those nights where the shots aren't falling. Can we give them the answers that they need to win games?
Keep in mind, too, Spiro, when you look at the numbers statistically, Kentucky averages 81 points a game, Iowa State at 83. Look at this score and multiply it almost by 2, and you got a game that is right around 60, right? So this is not the way they're accustomed to scoring at any rate.
Malachi Moreno takes a seat, second personal. Mark Holmes bench, final 53 seconds. That's the good for the team. Chandler bound up by Nelson. There comes Marchilovic. Into the corner. Nelson, no, but he is bumped. And all the momentum right now favoring the Cyclones.
One of the things is that if you're not shooting the ball well, Iowa State will come at you defensively on the perimeter. Watch this, they come back from a spot outside the perimeter, they fall back in. Nelson that time, and here he goes again, making a defensive set play, and now coming to the line after he hustles back down the floor to get to the basket.
Kentucky in this game, 11 field goals, 11 turnovers. We jumped out to that early 12. The good TJ Otzelberger, boy, you have to be quite pleased. No Joshua Jefferson with 3-point struggles. And right now, a one-score game here in St. Louis. Dominic Nelson, young man. Bring a chance. Stepping up to the free throw line. 2-point game, 30 seconds left before halftime.
Don't shoot free throws that low as a team. 68%.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Go for the lead. Fuck it. Go for the lead. Before halftime. Go for the lead.
Puts the Cyclones in a double bonus. Lipsy.
Yeah. Took the lead.
Worst case, you go in, right? Down 2. But they ran that set as perfectly as you can with the shot clock. There's about 4 seconds on the shot clock now. Shots in the air. It comes down with one. You can't do anything from that point on if you're Kentucky.
John standing by with Taman Lipsy.
Taman, this is a prize fight. How do you have the lead? It's a dog fight. We haven't been shooting the ball well, but we're still fighting. We're getting to the rim. We're playing defense, creating turnovers. That's what we do. It takes a couple minutes to get the offense going without Jefferson. Most definitely. That was one of our worst halves offensively, I think, shooting the ball. So we're just going to come out and say, stay confident. Appreciate it. Thank you. Spiro.
All right, John, they have taken the early 2-0 lead. They had not led since, but the Cyclones close with 8 unanswered.
Good first half. Good first half.
At the end of the first half, we'll send you the AT&T at the half. After these messages, you're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Here's another tip from the Shaq Guard. How to be an all-star.
Be a top performer, gotta be reliable. Stay cool, get hot, and clean up the boards. Just like LG, America's most reliable line of appliances.
Are we still talking about basketball?
Unlike other value meals, Arby's new $7.99 meat-free box has 3 sides, not just one. It's more meal for your money. Seriously, it's more meal for your money. Where'd that come from?
Arby's, we have the meats.
CBS Friday, April 3rd. Who let you in here? I'm not a Knicks fan, right? Yeah.
Ooh, Jaylen Brown. He acting now?
So what we got? I got it from. So, what do we got? Oscar Lewis, all new CBS Friday, April 3rd, and streaming on Paramount Plus.
What if your dog could live longer, and what it could mean for us? 60 Minutes due tonight.
Roasted garlic, wild thyme, salted butter.
What about chocolate?
That could work. But if it's not a reinvention, just a new balance of flavors.
Yes, Chef.
That feeling? That's the Lincoln feeling. Experience it for yourself at the Lincoln Spring Sales Event. Disney Plan lessees can now lease the 2026 Lincoln Nautilus Premier all-wheel drive SUV for $581 per month for 36 months.
Why choose Central Michigan University? Want to design your own brand? Get experience. Get hired. Want to engineer solutions? Get experience. Get hired. Want to perform on stage? Get experience. Get hired. We guarantee it with the Central Career Guarantee. Eligibility terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Companies everywhere bought into AI. Problem is, nothing works together.
That was not me.
Only the ServiceNow AI platform breaks down the walls. It integrates anything in your workflow.
Any data source, and with the AI Control Tower, we can finally manage all our AI.
The ServiceNow AI platform lets you connect and control everything to put AI to work for your people.
Good to see you, Nick. On the chat.
Easiest if everybody just moves down one? No, okay.
This is AT&T at the half. When the connection matters, it has to be AT&T, featuring America's best guarantee.
We got Lipsy kicking it to Heisey, letting it fly from the corner 4-3. Right now, it is Iowa State 30, Iowa State 31, and Kentucky 30. Hello and welcome to AT&T at the half. I'm Nate Burleson alongside Clark Kellogg, Renee Montgomery, and Seth Davis. Had some sloppy basketball at times. Raggedy basketball. But Iowa State picked it up at the end.
They did. Defensively, they forced a bunch of turnovers. That's who they are. That's what they do. They struggled making three-point shots, but found a way after getting an early lead, really early lead, to finish the half with the lead. We take a look at the highlights here. Kentucky made 6 of 15 threes, one of them right there by Denzel Aberdeen. That's a little better than what they normally shoot. Moncilovic, he loves that 1-foot fadeaway, splashed it there. He also made a couple of threes. But it was an 8-0 run, and this is what, well, actually, look, from Williams that time, Cam Williams knocking down the three again. Kentucky made 6 of 15, but this is the one at the end of the half by Isaac. Great penetration and pitch from Lipsy, and the turnovers. I can see Iowa State extending this lead to double digits and winning comfortably because they keep turning Kentucky over. They don't have a true ball handler.
Yeah.
And the three-point shooting is a little better than what Kentucky normally does. I don't see that continuing. And Iowa State's not going to continue to miss the quality threes they got.
And Renee, they led by as much as 12, but when you're trying to cut the gap, there's an easy way to do it.
No, definitely. I mean, credit Iowa State to have a 3-13 start is tough because, you know, you always want to start hot. But then after that, they went on a 12-2 run over a 3-minute span. And during that span, Lipsy really was the catalyst going downhill. He's 5 for 6 for free throws right now. But it's the downhill and the turnovers. A lot of them, I want to give credit to Iowa State, but I think half of those are unforced errors that Kentucky's just tossing the ball around. So I think if you're Kentucky, you love the start you had. You want to rinse and repeat that. But I kind of agree with you. Iowa State, look at the position you're in, and you're in that locker room feeling like half of our team didn't play well. We haven't made the shots we're accustomed to making. They put up 108 last game.
Right.
They're sitting at 31.
Yeah, you can see how discombobulated they are on the offensive side of the floor. Without Josh Jefferson, first of all, he's their second best three-point shooter behind Moncilovic, but he also does everything. He's a facilitator, he's a scorer at the rim, he's a rebounder, he was their queen piece, their leader, so not surprising that they would be out of sorts. So the fact that they're up 1, given how poorly they shot from 3. So if Kentucky can't take care of the basketball in the second half, then I agree with Clark. So somehow or another, Kentucky has not faced a deep. There's no one in the SEC who defends like very few teams in the country. Defend the way Iowa State does. The physicality on that end of the floor has been overwhelming for the Wildcats, and it's a big time problem.
All right, earlier on CBS, our 9th team made its way to the Sweet 16. 7 seed Miami taking on the 2 seed in the West, Purdue.
You see the freshman Shelton Henderson soaring in for the jam. The Canes look pretty good at the half. Up by a bucket, but Fletcher Lawyer came to play today.
What up?
How about 24 points? 4 for 4 from 3. And you're going to see on the advance, Braden Smith, easy layup there. Purdue's championship DNA took hold, and that's right. Yet another Sweet 16.
Hey, shout out to, who am I shouting out?
Who you shouting out for?
Jay Lucas. Outstanding first year leading the Miami Hurricanes to this point in the tournament. Had a wonderful regular season as well. A rising star, in my opinion, in the game.
Yeah, and Braden Smith, he didn't have the game he wanted, but you still get the victory. So you can bounce back. We know he's a great facilitator. Let's start knocking down shots going into the next round. All right, we will turn our attention to the East region next as we look ahead to our 3rd game of the day, a Hall of Fame coaching matchup with a trip to the Sweet 16 at stake.
My man, clock out. Corona, La Playa awaits.
The Sonic $6 All-American Smasher Meal tops the burger food chain. Get it hand-smashed and made to order, plus a side and medium drink for just $6. Great burger, even greater deal. Try the Sonic All-American Smasher Meal for $6 today.
Capital One Bank got invited to crash to this spot.
And I planned something special. March Madness themed sleepover. I never got invited to one as a kid.
Why am I not surprised?
This is so you never forget about no fees or minimums on checking accounts. Look, that's
Hi, is Allie there?
Allie who? Allie who? You just got jumped on.
and his bracket.
Never fall asleep first, Chuck.
Will you be there? The road gets dark. When adversity comes out of nowhere, or you misjudge the size of a parking spot.
Yeah, we can help. Just file a claim on the State Farm app or call Nathan if you want to speak to her real first.
Hey, Jay, will you be there when my brother says I have this much space? I said this much. You call that. You call that. No, you call that. No, you call that.
I'll call her, Dad. State Farm with the assist.
Where people are betting on you, every pass, every shot. It's not just the coaching you hear. It's the comment sections, the DMs, the losers who make threats and harass you. But this isn't their game to play. It's yours. The NCAA is drawing the line, educating about the dangers of sports betting, tracking online threats, and protecting the integrity of the game. To see all the ways the NCAA puts student athletes first. New CBS Tonight.
Missing stuff, man. All this dangerous stuff.
Want to go again?
No. Track is all new. CBS Tonight after Marshalls.
NCIS is being shut down.
Hey, you trying to report this thing back?
NCIS milestone event in CBS Tuesday.
Coming up next here on CBS Showdown in the East region as St. John's takes on Kansas. And for Big East Player of the Year, a chance to face his former team.
Harris live.
I found myself in Kansas my freshman year. Everybody knows the history of the Kansas program, but it was hard, making a decision to leave elsewhere. But
hot.
In order for me to have a better future, I had to look elsewhere for bigger opportunities, and I was able to find myself here at St. John's.
Jimmy is one of the most fantastic young men I've ever coached.
I came here, just because of Coach Pitino and everything that he stands for, and the vision that
I can't believe St. John's is back.
We were able to make history and bring a couple titles to New York, so it was truly special.
So I want y'all to check out these nuggets right here. This is where he started, and this is where he is at right now. Zuby, Dooby Doo. And those numbers would really have you saying, bro. 1.2 points per game in 25 games. And then he goes on, and this year, Big East Player and Defensive Player of the Year. It's not always who you are. Sometimes it's where you're at and who your coach is.
Yeah, no question. He's had experience with two Hall of Fame coaches, obviously, and Bill Self and now Rick Pitino. And it's a credit to his development. Staying the course, recognizing that what his goals weren't lining up with what his opportunities might be at Kansas. Stepped into the St. John situation and developed into a defensive and player of the year. You don't see that double-double very often at the Division I level.
Yeah, when you think about like opportunities, there's a lot of athletes that leave, but systems matter. Like what system a coach plays, who are the players you're playing with. And so for him to find a system, we've seen it with a lot of players, even if you look at the pros, they'll get traded to a team and all of a sudden everyone's like, where did that skill set come from? It's like they already had it. They just needed the right system, and you can just tell that system, it just churns through him.
And then, Hunter Dickinson was transferring into Kansas. That was a good piece. That's the 20 and 10 guy coming from Michigan. And so Zuby Ejiofor goes to St. John's, and he goes for the hardest working coach. Rick Pitino, even at the age of 73, 74, he still does individual workouts all day. He's all about player development and improvement. And when Rick Pitino compared Zuby Ejiofor's work ethic with Billy Donovan, that's when I knew the respect, because I know how much Rick loves Billy. And let me say, in this game, we're talking a lot about Darren Peterson. And me, it's Floyd Badunga, the center, that's going to be the key to the whole game, because you've got to match Zuby's physicality, his grit, his style, at the rim, in the paint. And if Kansas can't meet them at that level, then they're going home.
And it's not just Zuby. Bryce Hopkins is starting to raise to the level he showed a couple years ago before his knee injury. So that front line, Dylan Mitchell, don't discount him either. They are really formidable because of their versatility, the energy, and the physicality that they bring.
Yeah, and you briefly mentioned his name, so I do want to talk about dance.
Let's do it.
This is indeed his one and only dance. He's already put on quite a show. This is a talented young man.
He's a great player. If you're St. John's, your number one worry is that DP raises his game to the moment, and we know how high his ceiling is. For Kansas, the challenge is, can he get his big individual numbers while they can excel in the collective? Too often, offensively, they stand around and watch him play. Good way to get stats, not always the best way to get wins.
Definitely. I mean, that's what you always have to figure out, though, when you have a star. How can he get his and everybody gets theirs and everyone wins? When you look at that St. John's team, talking about Peterson, when they've gotten in trouble, they're a little inconsistent on the defensive end. They give up a lot of points and don't make threes. So stopping him would be a good feat for them because that's where they've struggled. It's back. That's where they've struggled at, on the defensive end.
Yeah, but I do think St. John's has raised the level defensively. You're right, they've been inconsistent, but when they've been good at that end, they've been very, very good. And I think they will be today because of the challenge and what's going to be required for them to have a chance to get to the Sweet 16.
And we know Peterson is going to have the ball in his hands. The offense is going to flow through him. How are they going to direct the defense towards him? They're going to hedge? They're going to send two?
I think they may send two. I think it's going to be a mixture. I think it's going to be a variety of ways trying to deal with him and keep him from going on.
And that's not a bunch of bees that you're hearing. But you know what? The next round of 16 is as sweet as honey. The second half of Kentucky and Iowa State coming up with a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line. But first, we have to check in with our guaranteed guys. Brought to you by AT&T.
It's March Madness, and I guarantee every office in America is finalizing their bracket pool.
Facts. You know what I'd like to see in offices? Imagine filling out your bracket.
I got you a surprise.
I told you I already filled out my bracket.
You having fun?
I'm cold and I'm starting to prune.
Maybe try splashing around a little. Sweetie?
Yeah, okay, I get it.
What up, though? What up,
This
though?
is basketball.
Chilling, watching March Madness, cooking some wings. Just chilling, smoking.
Someone once said, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right.
Love the windows.
And they're built to last. Anderson is the #1 trusted window and door brand. Sick
Mm.
That's right. Really slick frame. Easy open, easy close.
Oh, so elegant.
And you'll sit right. Anderson really opens up the space.
Oh, hey.
What a view! The world we're alive.
Nothing, bro.
Trust your home to Anderson. Do you trust me? Not as much as I trust Anderson. Hi, neighbor.
It's game time at KFC, and every squad has a hunt. Make yours around our extra crispy wings. Delicious. Crispy. KFC wings always win. It's finger-licking good.
What's the deal? What's the deal?
Yes, to grabbing my party essentials. Santa Plus membership, it can pay for itself up to 3 times over.
So my membership's free, and I get paid to shop here?
That's not quite. Let's join Sam's Club and say yes to the things you want and membership that can pay for itself.
For over 100 years, the NCAA has supported student athletes competing and going to college. And now, the NCAA and its schools provide healthcare coverage, mental health services, scholarship guarantees, and more. The scholarships have grown. The NCAA is a launching point, a leg up, and a spot to land. See all the ways the NCAA puts student athletes first.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NCAA for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any picture, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NCAA consent is prohibited.
Parties, your one-stop destination for March Madness. Get every moment all tournament long with personalized updates and highlights from your favorite teams. Download the VR app today. Halftime coverage continues from St. Louis, Iowa State 31, Kentucky 30. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship.
Dove Men knows how far guys will go to stop sweat.
Blow dry your pits.
Ignore harsh acts. Trust the science. New 96-hour Dove Men Maximum Protection. Keeps you dry longer than you need. Cares for your skin.
Excuse me, can I have your attention, please? Buffalo Wild Wings Big Six for $19.99 is the perfect meal for two. Your choice of 2 entrees, 2 sides, and 2 drinks. Big Six meal for 2 for $19.99. Grab a friend and head to Buffalo Wild Wings.
FBI is on this. See this Monday at 9, 8 Central. The next chapter of our performance is here. With Quattro all-wheel drive, you can feel it. Interiors refined to elevate every mile. One thing's clear. Performance never goes out of style. Get exceptional offers at your local Audi dealer.
Okay, wow. The new deck is gorgeous. I know. It's all Decorators. I love the colors. Thanks! They have so many to choose from.
Feels sturdy. Reliable.
Yeah, it's durable. It's nice not to worry about any maintenance.
Is the railing new?
Yeah, they're from Decorators too.
Stunning.
Thanks, Phil. I'm gonna need more lemonade. When you build with Decorators, the neighbors will notice. Decorators, stand out.
Oh, I should be back.
Well, we've all gotten good at stirring the pot. You know, maybe we find time for a little potluck. Bring those red beans with the andouille, bring pastas and seriously, we all can't just get along for a few hours? That's a crock. Just gotta go gloves on. Johnsonville in, and keep it juicy. Wait, what? A sausage that tastes like Dr. Pepper? Are there no rules?
Coverage of the NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get slam dunk savings today. Sherwin-Williams. Capture moments in color. Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Get Pick 6 for $19.99.
Back into their seats here in St. Louis for the final 20 minutes as we take a look at our first half stats presented by Degree. 3-point struggles for Iowa State. That's part of the story, but the Kentucky turnovers looming large. Just a couple of moments ago, outside the Kentucky locker room, John Rothstein with Denzel Aberdeen.
All right, Denzel, how did they take the lead there at the end of the first half?
Yeah, we got to do a better job taking care of the ball. They kind of sped us up on the offensive side, and on the defensive side, 22 got a couple foul calls, a couple wide open threes, so we got to limit him to shots. But it just comes down to us taking care of the ball.
As you look forward now to the second half, how do you get easier baskets against their 2-point defense?
Yeah, just take care of the ball. First half, they, like I said, at the end, they sped us up. So just us playing for each other, playing on 2 feet, and finding open shots. Will be fun.
Appreciate it. All right, so the second half begins. The Iowa State team playing without Justin Jefferson. Another question for Mark Pope and his team. Can they take care of the basketball, Jim, here in the second half? As Lipsy works in the corner, he will launch. Gets the body started. Three-pointer deep in the corner.
Well, that makes it different for Iowa State for sure at the offensive end. But keep in mind the John's point. Quick interview there. They've forced 12 turnovers. Iowa State has. Their lead had led the Big 12 in that category during the course of the season.
Only that is a high degree of difficulty. Cyclones led for all of 18 seconds in the first half. They have multiple scoring droughts. That defense that they play, creating extra possessions. They're able to snatch that 1-point lead. The innovation is Torrey misses in the corner.
There's no way to start to get things clicking in the second half like he did the other night. It's a question.
Denzel Aberdeen, that championship pedigree that he brought over from Gainesville, not that time. Jovic quickly closes on Momcilovic. He wanted to pull that three.
nothing when a big guy is guarding him. He gets his shot off a little easier outside. Heisey forcing the action in the middle of the floor.
Eddie Heisey, who stepped into the vacated role left by Joshua Jefferson. As we take a look at Owe, he's been kind of grasping at that right hand right there. We think is where it happened. Then the brace of that fall, and you see the stretch of the wrist.
Yeah. Two different great shots of that possibility that could be aggravated.
Vucevic, beautiful little floater, teardrop, as he goes down the paint. 4-point Cyclones lead. Away, top baseline jumper. And the rebound corralled by Lipsy. Heisey. Turner Owe, who hit the shot for the ages the other night. We're going to bump here. It's going to be on Otega Owe after another Kentucky turnover. And that's going to be the third personal Kentucky star. Let's remind you where these teams sit in the brackets. Winner moving on to Chicago in the Sweet 16. They'll take on the winner between Tennessee and Virginia. A game that's going to tip just after 6 o'clock Eastern on TNT. That's a critical call as Mark Pope Jim is going to sit Owe here less than 3 minutes in the half.
And I'm also looking over at the bench too. See if there's one hand at all.
Unreal defense.
Was lost for a second before it able to regroup in a hurry.
Able to get to Buchanan, and then Buchanan making it happen. The save, again, on the wing, nice little backdoor cover. Yelovich lays it in.
And how about the catch too? Pass was down, going around his knees, and he gobbled it up and finished it off.
Beautifully set up by Cam Williams. And a big basket for the Wildcats. Here comes Heisey. Reset Lipsy. Lipsy squares, fires.
Aqua waking up.
Joshua Jefferson helplessly looking up. Green stepped into the void. Lipsy has made a terrific 15. Missed it, and then Moreno is fouled on a putback attempt as he crashes the offensive glass.
You see up high here, watch the defender in war number one. He gets hit it just for a split second. And Aberdeen gets lost, and where is he? Not going to pick it up. 31% shooter from the three-point stripe, so you can say, well, maybe I can hang back just a little bit. Now he's got a straight-up shot like he did just
Georgetown, Kentucky, grew up about 25 minutes north of Lexington. They're a great crossing high school. He was a McDonald's All-American last year. Mr. Basketball in the state of Kentucky after winning Great Crossing High the state title. Highly touted prospect who has stepped into a huge role for Mark Pope in his first year in the program. 3-point game with 3.5 minutes gone by in the second half. They're going to get Chandler here off ball as he tries to contend with Vucevic, and that's going to be his second.
Yeah, team third in the first 3.5 minutes or so.
The chess match between these two coaches continues. Mark Pope, TJ Otzelberger, coached against each other. Those years since Mark Pope was at BYU. As we get another whistle here against Kentucky. And that's going to be the third personal on Chandler.
See, the interesting part to me just then was Lipsy made a decision to go very quickly. Oh, there's Chandler at the push right there from behind.
And now for Kentucky, you only have 2 more fouls to give. Jim with 16 and change left. Vucevic, and he's going to shoot free throws.
He's going to do it. 5 basketball games, you and I. We've seen 5 fouls called this quickly in this short amount of time.
or in this kind of a pressure game.
Yeah, exactly.
What up, what up?
Looking over his assistants on that Kentucky bench as they try to process the situation. And Iowa State's lead at 4. Watch whip-around coverage of all men's games with Fast Break presented by Home Depot with the NCAA March Madness Live app.
Still 5-20 is the number right now that Iowa State is sitting on with their three-point shooting. So what does that indicate? Foul trouble. Number 1, go to the basket. Number 2, you're not shooting the ball that great. Go to the basket. We'll see if they can execute.
Keep in mind, always on the bench with those 3 personals. Need some bench minutes here. Williams piled up in the corner. Heisey coming over. Looks like they're going to get Heisey on a reach-in over the back. One thing to keep in mind for Kentucky, you don't have a lot of natural point guards with the injuries. Remember Jalen Lowe, the shoulder surgery in January? That's been a big headline for Mark Pope's team this year. Aberdeen has had to slide over from the 2 to the 1.
Your point, Sterling. Turnovers they have. Like this one of them. That's a swat going to the basket. After the calls are being made down the other end, private to the basket to Kentucky to get this thing to be evened out a little bit more.
Both teams fighting a trip to the Sweet 16 on the line here at St. Louis.
Earn double miles on our game tickets with the Capital One Venture Card.
Great. My bracket's busted. I'm sorry, Sam Jackson. I am for real.
What?
But you can't be Cinderella.
It's double overtime.
Overtime? Overtime? I'm sorry, Sam Jackson.
It's time for a new kind of value menu. Hello, Panera's new Mix and Match menu. Just $4.99 each when you choose 2 or more faves like these. The new Mix and Match menu at Panera. Now that's a deal that's actually a meal.
Okay, now that you've bundled your boat and RV with your home and auto, you're ready to hit the open road.
Ooh, or set sail on the next adventure.
Tomato, tomato. And because you save time and money, you can just go where the road takes you.
Ooh, nothing but smooth sailing.
Don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay, looks like we're in ship shape. Shimmer me.
That's an impression of a pirate.
Boat.
Capture moments in color with paint made to last. Only at Sherwin-Williams.
Do kids want to grow tall to reach the pros or to reach a Reese's? Some might say that is an unfair advantage. But I say everything happens for a Reese's. New Monday.
This is where the real problems of the world get solved. In the shadows. Elite CIA, FBI fusion cell. It's not you're machine in this job. It's the only way of that. We might this time. Pardon me.
New series CIA, CBS Monday.
There's the score, 5-point lead for the Cyclones. Short-handed as we play early stage in second half. Let's go to our AT&T Connected Camp. Look at the vertical by Chandler. All the hot.
Man, what the fuck?
Right before that, he was about 2 or 3 strides out of the play and up there. So athletically getting back after being beat towards the basket to save a bucket. Everything counts in this game.
Mark Pope is going to keep Ortega away on that Kentucky
Shake it
bench
almost
with
up.
his 3rd personal early in this half. Marina, the freshman at the free throw line, to try to cut this down the way.
I think that's a good move by Mark Pope. I don't think he's running the risk of getting him a foul over the next 3 or 4 minutes. Maybe you'll see him go possibly to the under 12 media timeout. They'll get some lead. Good rest, but missed opportunities at the line for Kentucky.
Lipsy gets Aberdeen on his clearly on the way down. Yeah, now these Cyclones have their largest lead.
He's tricky though, isn't he? Look at him. And then he floats it up on their hand, gets it there quickly. Yeah. Good call.
But just like TJ Otzelberger said, Lipsy won't have many back-to-back off games. He's had 17 so far. Aberdeen. Every draw contact is going to get himself to the free throw line. A critical moment right now for the Kentucky Wildcats. You got Owe on the bench. You're down 7. And your offense is disarray. Who can galvanize this team right now with everything that's at stake for these two teams? Aberdeen's line so far, young man out of Orlando, Florida. First 3 seasons of his collegiate career, Florida. On a key reserve last season on that national championship team. CBS Tonight, when your loved one goes missing, he's the man for the job. Justin Hartley stars in an all-new Tracker tonight after Marshalls on CBS. So great to have you with us here in St. Louis. Here to beat Jim Spinarco, John Lawson.
So I get a better look. Wings, hot honey wings.
Wow. Let's see Lipsy do that often. This is going way airborne.
Yeah, it is out the way.
I think he was trying to challenge Aberdeen with his 3 fouls initially, and then he realized he had an opportunity for a big lock there.
Got my ranch. Need that ranchy ranch. Damn, Kentucky. My back. Damn. Got some Buffalo Wild Wings with mango habanero sauce. Watching some March Madness. Right now, Kentucky and Iowa State. Oh, shit. Kentucky was up in the first half for a little minute there. Iowa State made a run. 45 Iowa, 38 Kentucky.
All on the floor was a made basket that was goaltending with 1 shot.
So, habanero sauce. My back.
As they will take a closer look. Foul charge to Aberdeen is his 4th personal for Kentucky.
It's a little hot, so let it cool down a little bit. Hold on.
Now Taxes is an open door. Literally. The new TurboTax stores. Meet our experts in person. They're ready to do your taxes for you.
Need me some bread.
Confidence.
Shit.
Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax.
I get a flat.
Checked Allstate first and saved hundreds.
Here, get a bite, fam.
Unfortunately, I did not check just how permanent my body paint was.
Your student body president, Stephen
That's good.
Long.
Checking Allstate first was a great idea. Not checking if the body paint was permanent, not my finest moment. Yeah, check Allstate first. You saved hundreds. Racha.
Ha.
Yeah, college is good. Sometimes would be nice. Yeah, we gotta keep things tight. Whoa, that's how moving. With this new privacy display, we decide what's private and what we share. Now you see it, now you don't. Now you see it, now you don't. Yeah, man, cut the things out, yo. So I got you, bro.
under that?
Here's another tip from the Shackyard. How to increase your hang time.
These lights really give it that game back feel. Totally. Nice ladder.
Ooh, that's hot. Let me see. Give me a drum this time.
No matter what, there's never been
Put it on the bread, just like that.
Push the base, thread the needle.
We have to stick together. Show me your game face.
Will it be easy? Is it going to be worth it?
Don't forget,
You're a bird of prey.
Hot.
Majestic.
soccer gazelle. Go!
What does victory sound like? Together on three. 1, 2, 3.
Arby's meat and free box includes your
That's good, fam. Appreciate you. Business OG. Thank you. Homemade, homemade.
Your choice of meat and 3 sides, all for just $7.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
Well, the only thing that tastes better than making it to March Madness is making it to the next round.
As
So
we
enjoy
said,
a nice
previous
cold Coca-Cola
there's
and
overturn.
keep cheering for your team.
2 shots.
A successful challenge by Mark Pope, so they're going to take the basket off the board. No basket interference. The other big thing of this.
No, I don't sell place, my boy.
Initially,
Shit.
they had it on Aberdeen, which would have been his fourth. They give it to
I
Dean.
don't do none of that shit.
That's Victor Rennie's at the free throw line. Let's bring in Gene's territory. Gene,
I ain't got the patience for it.
Yeah, sure did, Spiro. Look, the ball's coming off of the rim, and for those asking whether the hitting of the net, causing the basket, the hoop, or something to move, if the basketball is on top of the ring and then hitting the net causes some vibration that would affect that ball, then that would be basket interference. In this case, falls away when he hits the net, inconsequential. Great job ruling, good challenge as well.
Great clarification there, Gene. Thanks.
So Dominica's plate up, Copley steps up, throws some free throws. If you just hopped on with us with 2:07 left in the first half, Kentucky led the game 30-23. Since that point, they've been outscored 21-8.
They just have not been able to get in a good recovery mode in terms of the way they're not executing, turning the ball over a bunch. Took the 14. Three guys with foul trouble.
He just lost his footing.
Yep, that's a tie-up.
Officials say jump possession.
Said I need some, so I had to go to Rick Ross Wingstop then. Ain't nothing wrong with Wingstop.
The Wildcats here with 14.
Go get that Wingstop.
And the Wildcats looking for something to settle their offense.
Good work there by IZ too. Just that jumping on the player on the floor. Sometimes there's a tendency to just jump on the player first. You go get the basketball, then that's a good call.
Get the Wingstops might be better than my kid.
Just getting out there after Kentucky. That's a great shot of Mark Pope. Just almost scratching his head about why we can't just get the ball in play on that particular foul.
15 Kentucky turnovers.
Wow.
We have seen precision offense from Iowa State.
Lipsy continues to direct the traffic. Better than the Kentucky point guards right now.
When you consider what they lost without Jefferson, all the scoring, all the playmaking ability, and Lipsy has picked up the slack via Bate, pounded underneath.
One of the consistent things about Iowa State is you see Lipsy come over and pick and roll, delivered right on the money. Watch where he sets this up. And Buchanan very knows exactly what to do with that one.
Sweet down from Lipsy. Elevates, rattles it down for a monster shot for the Wildcats.
It's safe to say he might get more involved in the second half like he did the other night.
The Wildcats fans certainly hoping that's the case. 28 of his career, 35 the other night came after the break. What does he have left up his sleeve? Everything on the line here in St. Louis. Lipsy, that career no, Buchanan no. Long rebound away.
Trying to go one-on-one.
To the basket goes left, missed it. Moreno had a chance. It slipped through his fingertips.
Really good. How about the move by Owen going outside there and just dropping into the basket? Expect to see more of that. But he played so very well the other night. His confidence should be relatively high, and especially after that drive. You saw the seam on the left side. Nobody behind to block a shot. Kentucky, I think, is going to call a timeout. Talk things over.
Not much longer now, and I will also take to the skies.
Me too.
You? No, you will always be a worm.
Just wait and see.
Red Bull gives you wings. Our communities share one heartbeat. But when disasters strike, that heartbeat stops. And that's when Belfour steps in to help bring it all back. Belfour, restoring more than property.
There's a little peek at our tournament summary. 12:48 left in the second half here. Texas, could they be the latest team to make a deep run from Dayton, first four, as they are through to the Sweet 16?
A heck of a game last night, but we were Nebraska, wasn't it?
Cornhuskers,
Boy, was that a game.
finally tasting NCAA tournament success. In the meantime here, questions for Kentucky. Down 8 with 12:48 remaining. How do they jumpstart their offense, Jim?
I think it has to be going towards the basket. I'm not going to rely on their outside shooting. I will take it once in a while.
Here, get a bite, fam.
This is kind of floating around with 10 seconds on the clock. They haven't done anything yet.
Here, Tommy Chiazza all over it.
See, I'm not so sure from Kentucky at this point, Spirit, at that point. Yes, they get something out of it, but they get it late in the shot clock. I think Mark Pope probably wants to get into it a little bit more aggressively. I think much earlier in the shot clock possession. Let's see what they do here with the 20-second reset. There you go, a little quicker.
Applebee's and Jay won't go.
There's problem.
So no trap will be a Fontaine. A hot pass. That's a 4-point swing. 10-point game.
State defense. I'm glad I'm sitting over here with you, Spiro. Well, most of the day.
There's a lot of great teams in the SEC. There aren't many that defend the way the St. Cloud do this. Another takeaway. Heisey.
God damn, Kentucky. Y'all better get y'all shit together when y'all going home.
3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis. With fewer symptoms from moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, where would you go? Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. With
I ain't gonna lie, I'm getting
clear
full.
skin is possible. And for adults with active psoriatic arthritis, Tremfya goes beyond the skin. Less joint pain, stiffness,
Looks like
and
I am
swelling
full.
is possible. And Tremfya even reduced fatigue. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Ask your doctor about Tremfya.
You got in there. Roll out. Roll out. Roll out.
There's no place like Lowe's.
All right, man. I'm out of here, man. Wings was good. I'm being full. About to wash my hands. You know, put this food up. Finish watching some games, bro. Holla at y'all, man.
Just kidding. That was really good.